Hello everyone, welcome to class series, and in this video we're gonna discuss the question answers of the poem Heaven If You Are Not Here on Earth. Okay, so let's start this video. So first let's move on to our comprehension first part. In that our first question is, according to the poet, heaven is option A, on earth, option B, within us, option C, elsewhere. The answer for this question is option A, on earth. Our second question is, the poet finds God in option A, nature, option B, earth, option C, temple. The answer for this question is option A, nature. Our third question is, what does the line heaven lies all over suggest? I'm going to dictate the answer for this question. You people start writing. The line heaven lies all over suggests that heaven is not elsewhere but within us and is all over the world. If we are good, then that is heaven, and if we are bad, that is hell. Nature is also a heaven, as we can find heaven in objects like trees, moon, sands of grains, etc. Our fourth question is, who creates heaven on earth? The answer for this question is the poet Kuvempu creates heaven on earth. So let's move on to our comprehension 2 part. Our first question is, describe the beauty in nature that makes the earth a heavenly place. So I will be dictating this answer. You people start writing. This answer goes as, this question is extracted from the poem Heaven If You Are Not Here on Earth, and it is written by Kuvempu. The poet Kuvempu argues that we do not need to seek heaven after death. We can enjoy the heavenly bliss. Heavenly bliss, B-L-I-S-S, bliss. Okay? Then continue the answer. We can enjoy the heavenly bliss in looking at nature on this earth itself. The poet presents a beautiful description of nature's beauty. The poet emphatically states that the bliss that one experiences while looking at the streams that are leaping down, roaring from the top of the hills, the waves that come rolling across the seas, 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 okay? Then continue, carrying surf at their edges, surf, surf, okay? edges, edges. Then continue, the tender rays of sunlight falling on the sprawling green forest, sprawling, sprawling, okay? Continue with the answer, sprawling green forest and the gentle sun warming up the earth makes this earth a heavenly place, okay? So the answer of first question ends here. Let's move on to our second question, that is, why does the poet feel that earth is more beautiful than the heaven? The answer of this question starts as, this question is extracted from the poem Heaven If You Are Not Here on Earth, and it is written by the poet Kuvempu. Okay, then continue with the answer. According to the Kuvempu, there is no heaven in reality. Entities like God, heaven, and the nymphs are nymphs, nymphs, okay? And the nymphs are merely figments, figments, okay? Figments of man's imagination. All the different forms of nature, like the green forest, the streams that leap down the hills, leap, leap, okay? Continue with the answer. The streams that leap down the hills, the waves that roll across the seas, the moonlit night, MOONLIT, moonlit night, and the splendor, SPLENDOUR, splendor of harvest appear more beautiful than the imaginary description of the man. Thus the poet feels that earth is more beautiful than the heaven. Okay? So our comprehension part second ends here. Let's move on to our comprehension third part. That is our third main. Okay? Our first question is, how does the poet explain the illusion of heaven in this poem? The answer for this question starts as, this question is extracted from the poem Heaven If You Are Not Here on Earth, and it is written by the poet Kuvempu. Okay, after writing this you have to write little bit of introduction of the poet, because it's a 6 mark question. You can write how much ever of the poet introduction you want. I'm not gonna dictate this thing. Okay, our 6 marks question starts as, first you have to write this sentence, this question is extracted from this poem, and the writer's name. Okay, then after that you have to write the poet or writer's little bit of introduction, and after writing that you have to start with your main answer. So poet introduction you will write by your own. Okay, just write the basic things about his birthplace, death, his full name, and the other things mentioned in your book. Okay, now we will start with the main answer. Kuvempu considers concepts like God, nymphs, nymphs. Okay, Kuvempu considers concepts like God, nymphs, and heaven as myths, 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 created by man. The next sentence, he opines, opines, okay, he opines that if at all heaven exists, it exists only on this earth and nowhere else. nowhere, nowhere. Okay, the next sentence, in order to break the illusion, illusion of heaven in man's mind, he presents before us charming sights, charming, sights of nature, and argues that nothing can be more heavenly than these forms of nature. Continue with the answer. He makes a direct address to nature and declares that if heaven does not exist on earth, where else can it be? He justifies his statement referring to the streams, the waves, and the sunlight. He says that the streams that leap, leap, down, roaring, roaring, from the top of the hills, the rolling surf at rolling, surf, the rolling surf at the edge of the waves, the tender rays of sunlight falling on the green forests, the gentle sun warming the earth, all this make the earth heaven. So our first question of 6 markers ends here. Okay, so let's move on to our second question, that is, how does the poem celebrate the power of the poet? Same format you have to follow in the second question also. First you have to write, this question is extracted from the poem Heaven If You Are Not Here on Earth, and it is written by the poet Kuvempu. Okay, then after writing this you have to write little bit of introduction of the poet of this poem. Okay, then after writing that we'll go for the main answer. The main answer starts as follows. Having argued categorically, categorically, having argued categorically that if at all there exists an entity called heaven, it exists only on this earth. The poet Kuvempu presents before the reader's beautiful sights, sights, of nature. In the last stanza, the poet states that one sees chunks of sees chunks chunks. Okay, one sees chunks of heaven lying all over in the splendor, splendor, okay, splendor of harvest and of moonlight. He concludes the poem celebrating poetic talent, poetic, poetic, okay, poetic talent. He says that the poet enjoys looking at nature, imbibes, imbibes the beauty of nature, and spills the spills, okay, and spills the nectar, nectar, nectar of heaven on the earth through his poetry. So we are done with all the question answers of this poem.